Oh, hello everybody, Corgi XP here, and welcome back. As you can see, we are in a brand new world, and that is because this is the start of our new series, Datapack Dash. I'm very excited about this series in particular because we're going to be going all over about data packs. In our last series, we went over, commands and how a lot of the more important ones can be used. Data packs essentially are commands. They function exactly like command blocks. However, it's all text-based, so you can do so much more with it. So you can have as many commands as you want in a function file, so you can have multiple commands running at once. You can run different types of predicates, you can run different types of custom crafting. There's so much you can do with data packs. So this series is going to be about creating a data pack, and we're going to be showing you all the different concepts of one, all the different things you can use within one, and how you can actually create your own that you can use for yourself on your server, or that you can actually create for other people. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Grab that notebook, drop a sub, and here we go. So in order to create your first data pack, what I would recommend is downloading a text/code editor. We will be using a VS Code because I personally enjoy it, and you can download extensions which make creating the data pack easy. As of recent Minecraft versions, you can actually do what's called /data pack and create, which allows you to actually create a data pack kind of template. For this, however, we're actually not going to be doing it this way because I want to show you how to actually create it, from scratch. So we're not going to use the data pack create option, but this is what you can do. So what you would do is, if you want it, notice how it gives you ID and description. You would need to give it an ID and a description of the data pack, that you want, and it would basically create a template for you in the data packs folder. But we're not going to go ahead and do that. But other things you can do with the data pack is you can enable anything that you make. If you want to temporarily turn one off, you can disable it, and then data pack list will list anything that's currently available. And as you can see, we currently have vanilla because that's always built in. So vanilla built in will always show up unless you of course add your own. So in order to add our own, what you need to do is first open your Minecraft folder. So an easy way to do that would be to press escape, press options, and if you go to resource packs, you'll see how you can go to open pack folder. This will actually open up your Minecraft folder into resource packs. So if I go ahead and open up our folder here, give me 1 second. And as you can see, right now, this is just my entire Minecraft folder, but if you press that button, it's going to bring you into, resource packs. So I have, redstone tweaks. That's why you see that right here. But all you would have to do is just leave this folder, go back one into .minecraft, and you'll see all of your Minecraft folders, from there. And the one that you want to go to is what's called saves, because saves is where your worlds are located. So you go to saves, and you can choose which save that you're trying to target. So for this one, we actually created a new world called Datapack Dash. So we'll go ahead and open that. And as you can see, all of your world information is stored in that folder right here. And if we go to data packs, you'll see that I actually created one already called My First Data Pack. So this can be capital, you can have underscores, you can have numbers, whatever you want to name this folder is perfectly fine. Obviously you want to name it something that kind of makes sense, and whatever your data pack is called. So for this tutorial and this series, we're going to be calling it My First Data Pack because this will be your first data pack. Otherwise you can name it such as villager trades, custom boss, something like that. Whatever you want to name it, that's perfectly fine over here. And then you would just put everything in here, as required. But this is not where we're going to do it. We're going to be doing it in VS Code, and I'll show you how to set VS Code up, once we get there. So now that we have that folder set up, we can actually go ahead and close out this screen, and let's go ahead and open up our VS Code. As you can see, I already have it opened where Explorer has already opened my first datapack folder. When you first open VS Code, it'll probably be like a blank screen or like a welcome message. Just close that out, and then if you want to see this Explorer thing, just click on Explorer, right here, and it'll open it up. If you don't have a folder already open, it'll ask you to choose, folder or create folder. So I just went to choose folder, and I went to the appropriate folder where my first data pack, was stored. Before we also continue, what you want to do is also go to the extensions tab right here, and under extensions, you want to make sure that you install specifically syntax mcfunction. You don't necessarily need datapack helper plus. You can, if you want to. I personally use it because it gives like a little bit extra stuff, but technically you only really need syntax mcfunction. So you would go into the search extensions bar right here, you would search for it, and then you would just install it. I already have it installed, so as you can see, it's already under, installed, but otherwise you would just search for it. You'll have like a little blue button, kind of like this right here. Just click on install, and it'll install it for you. And what this does is basically allows you to, see like syntax coloring, and it just makes it easier to understand, how you're, working, with those files. So it's actually really nice. So let's go ahead and go back to our Explorer. Let's go ahead and close this out. And while you're in that, my first datapack folder, there's a couple things you'll need to set up first. So in the main folder, there's going to be one file called pack.mcmeta, and that gives you the information of your datapack. And then there's also a folder called data, and the data folder is going to store your Minecraft and your namespace. So let's go ahead and create those two items. So let's first go ahead and create our new file, and we'll go ahead and call it pack.mcmeta. And as you can see, is when you create that file or folder, it'll automatically open the file, for you, which is really neat. So what we're gonna do is, since we are on the latest version of Minecraft, we're currently on 1.2.1.10, the latest release. We're going to be setting up this data pack to actually be present for previous versions of 1.2.1.7 and 1.2.1.8, as well as 1.2.1.9. So in pack.mcmeta, if you are supporting any versions prior to 1.21.9, you actually need to set it up with a pretty, different, format. So what we need to do is this pack.mcmeta file is in what's called JSON format. So we start with an object. So open curly brackets. And what we need to do is set what's called, if I could spell, pack. So under this pack, this is where we set the description, pack format numbers, stuff like that. So since we want to target 1.21.7 through the current version of 1.21.10, we actually need a couple different items in here. Otherwise, if you only wanted to do 1.21.9, it's actually much easier. So I'm going to actually show you the difference real quick. So let's go ahead and finish this off. So pack is going to be set up with another object and inside that object, we need to set what's called a description and the format numbers. So let's go ahead and set up a description first. So we'll do description, and let's go ahead and set the description to our first data pack 1.21.9, just so I can show you, what it looks like. And since we have other items within that object, what we need to do is a comma right here in order to tell it that there's another item in that object. So for this, we need min format, and that min format is going to be 88. You can get that 88 from the Minecraft datapack wiki, and it'll tell you all the pack formats for each version of Minecraft if you go to that page. I'll link that in the description. And we also need what's called max format. And max format will also be 88. So now if we save this, technically our pack.mcmeta is complete, but it's only going to be for 1.29 or above. It will not work if we try to load this into 1.217 or 1.21.8 because we're currently setting it to only function with 1.21.9 or higher. And that's okay, especially since, you know, we're in that version right now. But let's go ahead and set this up to where we can support, you know, the other previous versions. So let's go ahead and change this to our first pack, and we'll do 1.21.7 through 1.21.10. So we now know that it supports all of those. And in order to change this up, we need a few extra things. So first, we actually need to set a pack. Oops, not that. We need that. So pack format. And this pack format is going to be our lower of the versions, so 81, because 81 is the pack format number for 1.21.7 and 1.21.8. So make sure you use the appropriate pack format number. Also, if we are using pack format, it's required where we also need what's called supported formats. The pack format and the supported formats are not required if you're only doing 1.21.9 and up. Both of these are required if you're supporting anything lower. Just keep that in mind. So supporting formats is going to include another object, and that's also going to include what's called the min inclusive and max inclusive. And as you can see, since we installed those extensions, it's actually giving you that option to directly put in right here. So it knows what you're trying to actually set up based on the file type of mcmeta. So these extensions are very smart and help you kind of guide you with exactly what you need kind of, you know, next. So let's go ahead and do min inclusive, and that will be set as also the lowest number, so 81. And then we also need to set the max inclusive, and that will be 88, if I can do the correct colon. So 88, perfect. So now that that object is complete, notice how we need a comma in order to get to the next object or item. So now we're so good with this because our min format is now going to be 81, because remember, our min format always needs to be the lowest of the options, and then the max format is always your highest. So now this pack.mcmeta is good to go for both 1.217 and 1.218, as well as 1.21.9 and higher. You do not need these options right here if you were going to be doing only 1.21.9 and higher. So now that we have pack.mcmeta set up, what we also need to do is set up a folder in my first data pack called data. Inside that data folder will lie your Minecraft folder and your namespace folder, and we'll get into that momentarily. So let's go ahead and create a new folder and call this data. So now, as you can see in our Explorer, we now have the data folder and we have the pack.mcmeta file. So under data, what we need to do is create the two folders, one called Minecraft, one called your namespace. So let's go ahead and create new folder called Minecraft. And the Minecraft folder basically is all of your standard Minecraft namespace stuff. So this is where you're actually going to be setting up your load function telling it, what file to load, and what your tick load will be. So it'll tell you like what file to read as each Minecraft tick. We'll get into that momentarily as well. And then also under data, we need to also create a folder called your namespace. And this is where you want to name your namespace. It can be anything you want, but it should be relative towards what your data pack is for. You can have multiple folders within your namespace. So for instance, like let's say you have, a special custom boss, let's say you can actually have multiple boss files or folders within that boss namespace, but you need one primary namespace to always use. So in this situation, what we're going to do is just keep it very simple, and we'll do my pack. So we'll keep it very simple. So now we have the Minecraft folder and the my pack folder within the data folder. So in the Minecraft folder, we need to set another folder called tags. And then within that tags folder under Minecraft, we now need to set a folder called function. And inside that function folder under the Minecraft tags, that's where you put what's called the load and the tick.json files. Those are required names, so load.json and tick.json, but you can name the value to whatever you want it to be. So let's go ahead and create those files real quick. So under function, let's go ahead and create a new file called load.json. And in load.json, we need to basically tell it what we want it to load when the data pack loads or when /reload is used in game. So let's go ahead and open up with our object, and we'll set our values to, and for values we set it up as what's called an array. So as you can see, there's two different types of brackets in here. The curly brackets right here means object, and the square brackets right here mean array. So a values would be an array where you can actually have multiple files that are loaded at once, and we can get into that a little bit later. But for now, let's go ahead and just keep it as one file. So we'll do my pack. So you need to name whatever your namespace is. So we named it my pack, and we need to now tell it what file that you want it to actually load from. So you can keep it the same. So let's just go ahead and do load, to keep it, similar. Otherwise, you can go ahead and name it, whatever you would like. So we'll just keep it as my pack, load. Now, what you need to do is we can take a copy of this. So copy. Let's go ahead and paste. Where's my paste? Where's my paste? Hold on. I don't know where my paste is. Oh, I can just do that. So if you just highlight over load, Control C, and then Control V. All right. Anyway, let's rename this to tick. So we named this to tick, and under tick, instead of my pack load, we now name this tick. Perfect. Why is it yellow? I just want to see something real quick. And I find function my pack. Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically what this is doing is, since it can't find the load.mc function or tick.mc function, with the spyglass MC, it'll give you these errors, which will just tell you like why it's erroring, because it can't find what's called load.mc function and tick.mc function. But once we add those errors will go away. So I just wanted to see why it was doing that. So now that we have these two files, so we have our tick and load, now under my pack we can create a folder called function. And within function, that's where we create our load.mc function and our tick.mc function files. Let's just go ahead and do a load one for now and a tick one for now. We'll leave tick empty because tick happens every single tick. We'll get to that, momentarily, but let's just do a load for now. So function, and we'll do a new file under function called load.mcfunction. So now that we have load.mcfunction, basically these MC functions work exactly the same as command blocks. So you can have as many commands or whatever you want this function to do. So what we'll do is we'll do a tell raw at a, and let's go ahead and have it say, we'll do color. Let's make it gold, and we'll do text of, let's see, what should we do our text as? Let's call it my first data pack, and we can leave a space because I want to have another set of text, and we can do color, let's do white text. Yeah, let's do white text, and we can make the text as successfully loaded. Perfect. So now that we have load.mcfunction, this should, why is this still erroring? My pack load.mcfunction. I'm wondering if it's because it wants to have both right off the bat. Interesting. Yeah, because it shouldn't be erroring anymore. That's weird. Okay, let's just go ahead and create our tick. So a new file. So tick.mcfunction. And whenever you don't want something to run, you're running comments, you know, something like that, what you can do is use hashtag, and this is a comment. So let's go ahead and just put in tick.mcfunction. Tick.mcfunction runs on every Minecraft tick. So let's save that. And it's still showing an error. Why is it doing that? Undeclared symbol. Why is it showing undeclared symbol? I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, it shouldn't be erroring because everything is right. So that's weird. But let's just go ahead and move forward for now. So now that we have, you know, these folders, you know, set up, let's go ahead and go back in game real quick. And let's do what's called a reload. Anytime you set up a data pack, you need to, you know, reload it, or any changes, you need to reload it. And what we should see is that message that it was successfully loaded. So reload. Yep, there we go. My first data pack successfully loaded. And as you can see, if we type in /function, you'll see our load function and tick function right there. Nothing's going to happen right now because, you know, it's, you know, not doing anything and we don't have any other function files, but at least our load MC function has successfully loaded. So that's perfect. So now if we do data pack list, we should now see, yep, there it is, file, my first data pack, world, and that is correctly loaded because we only have the 2 data packs now. Perfect. So let's go ahead and reopen VS Code, and let's go ahead and create another, you know, function. So as you can see in our new world, we're kind of missing something. I think we need to get our super cute cat back from our previous episodes. So let's go ahead and create a new function. Let's call this my first function. MC function. So let's go ahead and first show you a little something real quick. Let's do give at s, just because I want to show you something real fast. Minecraft, let's do emeralds and 1. you don't technically need the Minecraft namespace in front of Emerald. You can actually literally just do it as this and it'll be fine. Personally, what I would recommend is keeping the Minecraft Emerald. Yeah, I would recommend keeping the namespace just until you kind of get more familiar with everything and, you know, not having to put in that namespace, because you'll know that anything within the Minecraft namespace, you know, Emerald, means it's a default Minecraft option. Whereas if you were to create like your own, you know, namespace later on, such as with a predicate, you know, let's say, you would be using the mypack namespace right here, but we don't have anything called mypack Emerald, so you don't want to accidentally like confuse yourself thinking Emerald could be coming from either Minecraft or your direct pack. So I would recommend keeping all the namespaces in just until you get more familiar with creating these packs. And then let's go ahead and also summon cat tilde, and we'll give it a custom MBT of custom name, and we'll give him our custom name of super cute cat. Perfect. So now if we go ahead and open Minecraft back up and we /reload, there we go, our successful loaded. If we do /function, we should now see my first function. Perfect. I just want to show you something real quick though. No, remember how we put in @s? You can run functions by either typing it directly like this, and since I'm the one typing it, @s will work perfectly fine right now. However, you can also run the function in the command block. So if we do this, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Emerald is going to be given to me, or try to be given to the command block? And where is that cat going to be spawned? So if we do this, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Notice how nothing happens with the Emerald, but the cat does get spawned, but inside the command block, because that's where that command is actually coming from. So what you would really want to do is you can keep it at s. However, what you'd want to do is execute as p, run function. So what this is now doing is it's executing as the nearest player, and we're running that function. So now @s stands for myself. So what's going to happen is that Emerald is going to be given to me, and the cat is going to get spawned where I'm at, not where the command block is. So let's go ahead and click on done. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. Okay. So that the cat one does, because we're summoning cat still at the location of that block, because I forgot we used tilde. So if you wanted to summon the cat, what you would do is summon so execute sorry, let me bring up VS Code up real quick. So in order to change the summon part, you would just do execute @s summon cat. So basically what it's happening now is, why is that erroring? Oh, run. Because you have to run anytime you execute. I forgot about that. My bad. So in order to fix the summoning, you just do execute @s run summon cat. So we're now still doing execute as p in game, so nearest player, run this function, and now we're doing give myself the Emerald, and we're executing at my location, run that cat. So now if we save this, and we go back to game /reload. Let's go ahead and get rid of this emerald right here. Now what should happen is we still get the emerald, but the cat now spawns right there rather than in the command block. So now we have two super cute cats. Hi, buddy. You're so cute. So what else can we do? I think that's pretty good. We've now been given the basics of how you can actually, you know, run stuff. Oh, I know what I can show you. So let's go ahead and say, let me give a emerald block and gold block. I know what we can do. So let's go ahead and put an emerald block down. And I want to show you how a tick function will work, as well as calling another function within a function. So let's go ahead and get the coordinates of the emerald block. So if you do /set block /fill /clone, you'll see that it allows you to tab and get the coordinates of where your crosshair is looking at. So let's get these coordinates right there. And if we open up our code editor, let's go ahead and in tick.mcfunction, so this runs every tick, let's go ahead and execute positioned, and we'll put those coordinates in. So we're now executing every tick positioned at that location. If block at that location is emerald block, and if block up 1 is gold block. So notice how when we were typing block names, it automatically figures out what you want. So sometimes it'll give you the option of doing Minecraft, you know, hyphen gold block, stuff like that, but most of the time it'll automatically tell you exactly what you need. So in this situation, I would recommend using whatever the extension, you know, gives you, because it would technically be correct. So execute positioned at that location. So we're checking if that block is an emerald block, and as well as if block 1 above is gold block, we can run function. Let's do reward. Oh wait, we need what's called your my pack, so your namespace, and let's go ahead and block check. So what this is going to do is it's going to be checking at that position to see if emerald block is that block, if block above it is gold block, and if gold block is above it, it's now going to run block check every single tick if it's accurate. So now let's go ahead and create block check. So new file, block check.mcfunction, and what we can do is what do we want to do here? Let's do title at a action bar. Oops, it would help if I could spell. So action bar, let's do color of yellow, and we'll make the text, what do we want to make it say? Gold on emerald block detected. Sure, why not? And what we can also do is let's do a particle happy villager. Why not? We can do it tilde up 1 tilde. Let's do 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So that's on the XYZ delta. We can do 0, 25, and let's do force. If I could spell force right. So what'll happen now is in tick, what it's going to do is every tick it's going to check that position to see if an emerald block is there, which is accurate, so that part checks out. And then it's going to check if the block above it is gold, and if it is, then it's going to run block check. And in block check, we're going to be running an action bar saying gold on emerald block detected, and it's just going to be giving us that happy villager particle the entire time. So let's go ahead and get back in game. Excuse me. And let's reload. So right now, nothing's happening, but gold on emerald block detected. And it's going to do that for every single tick until the gold block is destroyed. The action bar goes away. Particles go away. If we put it back, action bar comes back, and the particles show up because every tick it's checking for that information. So that is how you can do a tick. We did the load with the custom data pack message. Of course, you can also, run multiple things in load, such as setting up scoreboards, whatever it might be. You can run functions directly by typing /function, my first function. So we got another emerald, another super cute cat. Now we got 3 buddies. Or you can run the function in command blocks, but I would recommend, if you're using @s in those functions, to execute as p or execute as a first, whatever it might be. And I think that'll be it for today's episode. So we now have our first working data pack, and you can go ahead and have some fun with it. What we'll do for next episode, we'll go ahead and go over what's called predicates, where it'll allow you to check for certain things. So for instance, we can do, player sneaking, player is, in water, something like that. And the predicates make data packs super useful, especially when you're trying to do, so many things, such as, if you're in water, do this, if you're standing on top of something, do this, if you're sneaking, do this, stuff like that. So thank you all very much for watching today's episode. I look forward to creating some cool data pack stuff with you. And if you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to drop a comment, on the video. Please subscribe, please like, and let me know if you ever need anything. And I will catch you all next time. Bye, everybody.